Welcome back to the Hooligans Pitch. As always, I am Chad, and we have a special guest today.
Where's my team?
I don't know who this masked crusader is, but he's making an appearance.
I don't want to show my face anymore because being a fan just hurts. And I decided this is going to be my Halloween costume. Just, a bag over the head Liverpool fan. I think it fits pretty good right now.
Yeah, I think it's one of those costumes that hits on a few different levels. Like it's a little bit scary because it's like mysterious, but then it's also like painful and scary because you're a Liverpool fan right now. It's
a pretty sad costume, to be honest. I feel pretty dead inside. This is very like Michael from Halloween. This is how I feel. This is what he feels when he's standing there. Except his knife is going into others. Well, that knife is going right here, right into the heart. So I'm going to take this off because it's getting a little sweaty in there.
Yeah. Ooh, that is a tight fit.
Oh, man.
Well, look, to help commemorate your costume here, back in the days when Arsenal was going through tough times, there was a fan at the game, and it was one of the games where you had to wear a mask still. And he kind of took the same route as you. Didn't want to see the mess that Arsenal was, and I bought a print of it. So maybe I can just give this to you now, and you can have this.
I will frame that and put it on my wall for this season, and hopefully this season only.
Well, you'll just keep passing it back and forth.
Yeah, hopefully we'll give it to somebody else. We need a Man United fan who will hopefully be terrible the next year or two. Yeah, my bones hurt. My soul hurts. So with that, we are not going to do beer tonight. We are going to have a nice little glass of whiskey because that is just the mood. It is 10:30 here. I got a lot of stuff going on tomorrow, but you know what, Chad? It's not going to be a lot, but I think I deserve it.
Yeah. I think, nice little nightcap. Set you up for the week.
Oh, man. This was my first time going out to Missouri to watch a game. Went to the International Beer Bar. Only footy fans in the... I was going to say only Liverpool fan in the building, but I was the only fan in the building for soccer at all. So, I expected a little more, but, I bet World Cup maybe steps it up, especially if I can get a little crowd going. But, that game was torture.
Yeah. I mean, Liverpool's just, I don't know, kind of like we've said all season. It's just not the season for Liverpool, at least domestically. Champions League is still...
Yeah, playing pretty good there. I mean, it's, you never know. So you had a happy weekend, I'm assuming. What are you having to drink to celebrate?
Well, I'm not joining you on the whiskey, but I do have a liquid hoppiness.
Oh, that looks
from
nice. Okay.
Sierra Nevada. It's their new seasonal one since they don't make the Oktoberfest anymore.
Yeah, shame.
But a nice juicy IPA. So.
Nice. I'll have to look for that one. We wear black today too because I had another black kit and I said it's time to do it again because here we are. So let's maybe start with the sadness of the weekend and work our way up so we end this on a positive note. I'm going to have a sip. And now we can chat. Whew. Liverpool, Chad. Liverpool had 23 shots. 23 shots. I repeat, 23 shots.
Are you taking 23 shots?
If this ever happens again, it might just happen. 9 shots on target. 921 touches for Liverpool to Leeds 555. Meslier played out of his mind. However, there were so many chances where they could have just not kicked it straight at him.
Yeah, this is kind of what I noticed when I watched through the game is like Liverpool didn't even look bad. Like I thought they played fairly well considering how they've been playing at least. Just they couldn't get past Meslier. He was a stone wall back there.
No, he played great. His positioning was perfect. He was reading a lot of shots before they were even happening. Kudos to him. But there were just a lot of 23 shots, only 9 on target. Like that says something right there. The 2 goals that Leeds scored, the first one, obviously a huge error. And I'm telling you, man, I understand Joe Gomez was playing a center back that game, but he had to go out to the right side of the pitch, which I'm never a fan of him out there. And it's something like with his back turned, and he just doesn't have the peripheral vision to see like what's going on behind him. And the worst pass I've seen this season as far as errors go in the back. That was up there.
He just doesn't even look where Ellison is. Like,
or
he knows he knows someone will be in that area, but like, had he picked up his head just a split second, he would have seen, that Allison was more towards the end line than middle of the box, which a pass to the middle of the box from that area is already a little bit risky and like a needless risk to take in that area. But I mean, look, if any team was going to jump on your mistake like that, it's probably this Leeds team. They're quick and try and play on the front foot.
But Chad, Leeds before Arsenal 2 weeks ago, correct me if I'm wrong, have lost their last 4?
No,
I'm sorry. They didn't play Arsenal last weekend.
Yeah, 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago. I believe they lost their last 4, so they're on a pretty cold streak here.
I mean, Jesse Marsch was definitely under some pressure. Like, there was talk of him, maybe being the next one to get sacked. So,
yep.
Yeah,
it's not going to happen now, at least for a little bit.
He definitely bought himself some time, but I mean, man, I noticed kind of the same thing from when Arsenal played them. That Leeds was just like the whole game pretty good about putting the pressure on, which when they did that against Arsenal, I thought they would kind of tire out and towards the end of the game get a little bit sloppier. But like, I don't know, they just found extra energy reserves and kept the pressure on almost the whole time, it looked like.
Well, the defending on their second goal was atrocious.
Yeah, that was another note I have, is that Liverpool this season seems to like really struggle with putting out fires. Like, that second goal especially, even kind of the first one, it's like these balls are coming into these situations that like you don't want them in, but instead of everyone kind of collapsing on the player with the ball and like getting it away from them, they're just kind of pushing them out, and the threat is still there. Granted, it takes a little bit more work to get the goal off of that, but I mean, to just make the tackle, clear the ball away, or do something.
There are a lot of Reddit comments saying that Virgil could have done a lot more on that last shot, and just either closing in on that space or putting his body on the line. And the rumor is he's not doing anything crazy before the World Cup, because the Dutch have a good shot this year. They really do.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's and we've talked about that before, is like how cautious are players playing right now, because we've already seen a handful of players get injured and now will miss the World Cup. Like, it's right around the corner. So if you are in that age bracket where this could be your last tournament, or you're just a shoo-in for the team and you want that World Cup experience, then I think, you probably do play with a little bit of reserve just to make sure you get there.
Do you think these managers will be cautious about that fact too in these next? I mean, the title race is like, it's on right now. It really is.
Yeah.
And with the come ups of Newcastle, which we'll get to, and Man United staying relevant, Arsenal still at the top, and Man City right behind them. There's no way managers don't want to play their best squad, but I could definitely see a player whispering like, "Hey, like I this is my could be my one shot to do this."
Yeah, I mean, it's probably a hard balance for the managers, because really you don't care how the international stage goes, right? Like, your job is to perform in the league and perform in Europe if you're in it, but then you also have to kind of work with your players, and you don't always want to just force them to play if they're not performing, or if they're nervous about the World Cup or whatever. So it's like, I think it's you're probably seeing the managers that are like good managers probably doing pretty well right now.
Yep.
Whereas the managers that are just like purely focused on like team performance and stuff, I think are probably struggling a little bit because those World Cup players or potential players are, their mind is maybe 80% in the league, but that other 20% and ever increasing percent is being focused on the World Cup.
I totally agree with that. And, probably the top half of the table has a lot more players going to the World Cup rather than the bottom half. So yeah, that makes it kind of interesting just on what's going to happen in these next, two more weeks, 3 more games.
Yeah, something like
close
that.
to that with a cup game in there. Yeah, it makes it interesting for sure. So I don't really want to talk. There's nothing really more to say about this game.
The only thing I want to say is Patrick Bamford has the worst touch I have ever seen.
I was actually stoked when he was coming on.
Somehow it worked, not even to his benefit, but like to Leeds' benefit this time. But like all of his touches were just atrocious.
Fine by me.
Geez.
Yeah,
I mean,
even Kristen commented on that too because she was paying close attention, and it's nice to see her root for Liverpool when she knows like it's either going to be a good day or a bad day for me. Not that it's going to ruin my day, but like she knows it'll put like extra pep in the step. So yeah, and she definitely made comments, and she commented how Aronson was super like aggressive at times, and then Robertson was maybe not easily, one of the better players on the Liverpool squad. If every player had that man's energy for 90 minutes, oh man,
they used to. That's the thing. It's like
they used to. I'm glad he hasn't left it. And I guess one more note I want to make. I think Henderson needs to play the full 90. I understand he's older, but his unique aggressiveness with the team is so important. No one else is like that except for Robertson.
Yeah.
No one yells at anyone.
I think, you need, kind of that leadership out there and that just, that kind of presence, I guess. And especially like midfield, like you see a lot, you're involved in a lot of the plays. So like, might as well keep him out there. Like if he might get run past towards the end of the game, but I think, he can still fire up the guys around him and keep everyone focused. And, maybe you don't have that late, 90-plus minute goal at the end if someone's barking at the defense to, stay tight and block off.
Clear it. Come on. All right. That does it for me. I really want to talk about Chelsea though, if that's cool. Because I can shove all my problems onto them. Do you think they're going to go after Brighton's new coach, Roberto De Zerbi? Because I don't think it's a Potter thing. I think it's a Brighton thing they want.
I mean, look, Potter took, I think, majority of the backroom staff, and then I think this week he was back there trying to get their like head of recruitment over to Chelsea now. So, I mean, like
Chelsea was pretty bad.
Chelsea's they just look chaotic. Like that's when I was watching it, was like everything is just like chaotic, and it's like sometimes people seem to know where to be, and like other times it's just like everyone's running around, and then you get like Pulisic and Sterling like defending sometimes, which is like not the guys you want to be defending. Like it just I don't know.
Do you think their problem starts with Havertz at the top? And I know like he's been playing decent for what he has to play, but that's not his normal position. And then it just
I mean, I think you would benefit from an actual striker, which I mean, you have Aubameyang. Like I don't know why he's not playing more.
It's gotta happen soon, right? Like I understand Potter didn't bring him in, but he's there, and but
still at least he's trained and experienced as a striker, whereas Havertz is not. He's more of that attacking mid, like shadow striker kind of role. But man, like I just watching Thiago Silva have 2 goal line clearances in the first 4 minutes.
Dude, that was crazy. His poor head, it must be killing.
Like what a start to the game. Like for him to be thinking after that is probably just like, I'm in for a rough day.
He's like, I am 37 years old and I got to deal with this.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I
Oh,
mean, I bet, like, credit to Brighton. Like they came out to play, and
hell yeah, they
yeah,
did. Trossard is
not
the
only
real deal.
yeah, like Trossard's on fire. Like, not only are you going up against your old manager, but you're going up against Cucurella too, who I believe was their like player of the season last year. So like they're definitely feeling some type of way about that. And,
First time they've ever beat Chelsea. First time they've ever had the lead against Chelsea.
oh really?
Ever. Yeah. They've only played them small sample size, 12 games.
Yeah.
But that
Still.
stands true.
I mean, yeah, like I was worried about Brighton when they lost Potter, because you would, I guess, think that the manager is a big role in how they were performing, but I don't know. This new manager seems to be just picking up where they left off, and
Yeah, they were a little cold. They had a little streak there, and we commented on it. Like they just weren't scoring, but the ball was in Chelsea's box for I felt like the entirety of the game, where it was just chaotic in the box, and that's why Brighton was able to do what they needed to do. I'm trying to think of the first one. Can you start with the first own goal?
Yeah. That first own goal was, I believe, off a corner kick.
That's right.
And Loftus-Cheek just like gets his knee to it and right into the goal.
Yep.
Which is, unfortunate, and I don't know, maybe a little bit lazy on the defending to just like throw a knee out there, but again, it just kind of looked like it was, Brighton's day. Everything was going to go Brighton's way.
And then Kepa hurt his foot.
Do you think he really did?
Man, I mean, if they took him out because of those goals that were scored, it's hard to say any of those were really his fault.
Yeah.
I guess my only thought would have been maybe Potter thought Mendy had more length. And this was, Kepa's his time. We might never see Kepa again.
Yeah.
Like, honestly. But Mendy, I thought, played worse. I honestly, like, he didn't look any better to me. He looked, he was not confident when the ball was getting passed to him. His reactions looked slow. He had to just come in at halftime. I get that. He probably didn't have like his proper warm up. But man, that's like, you just bought this guy. And I understand he's getting paid less than Kepa, but he wants to get re-signed. So I don't think Chelsea's going to keep him around past his contract.
And I mean, you compare him to Sanchez on Brighton, and it's like Sanchez has been in like meh form the past few weeks, but like this game he was still, I think, a little bit shaky on some of the crosses, and like the goal they gave up was like a little bit. He probably could have done better.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, like he's still making big saves. He's looks like he's coming back into the form that he started the season in.
Yeah, the confidence is back. I mean, that game you beat Chelsea, the way they did it, you're definitely gonna have confidence going into the next one. I just want to see who they play next, because I'd be a little worried.
Arsenal, baby.
No, you got Brighton and Wolverhampton. Oh, you guys play Chelsea. Okay, well that's good for y'all, because I think you easily have momentum. You guys play Brighton though, November 11th in the Cup. So
that should be interesting game.
Yeah, that should be a good one. Brighton's. I could see them making top 10. They should probably make top 10 by the end of the year. We still have the likes of Liverpool and Everton and West Ham, who I still think will make runs towards the top. So I think they'll be on that bubble. Chelsea has now, let's see, they've lost their last game and drew the two prior. Are they like going to just start sinking for the World Cup? Because they have a lot of players going.
Yeah.
I would not feel good if I was Potter. That's simple story.
No, I mean, I think your squad is a little bit light, or just kind of weird composition, because like, I mean, it's just the Chelsea way is, once the manager starts to not do well, they ship him out, get someone new in. So it's like, you kind of have that Man United problem a little bit, not to the same extent of where it's like you have players for different managers and different play styles, and now you're trying to mesh them all into your play style. So it's like Ruben Loftus-Cheek is like, didn't get play time before Potter came in, and now he's like starting every game. And I don't know that he's good enough to have that consistent role in a Chelsea team? Because he hasn't in the past. Like,
well, it seems like that's what Potter is trying to do with the whole formation. The whole like squad is so different from when we started this season. Pulisic is now starting. You got Mount now playing like almost a center forward role, and he was playing like close to a center mid, almost defensive center mid. Because Tuchel was just playing so far back. He wanted to just kind of park the bus. We haven't seen much of Chilwell, who I really want to see on the left. It seems like Kovacic is now playing a lot. It's a weird transition to do at this point of the season.
I mean, credit to Potter. He's generally been pretty proactive in his changes and formation changes mid-game, which is nice to see. So often you see a manager just like stick to their game plan, and like if it doesn't work, then like, well, that's the game plan. So, it just wasn't our day. And it's like, I'd rather see a manager actually tinker with the lineup and formation and try and get something out of the game. So I think he's generally good at that.
So do you think he tinkered too much this game, or was this just unlucky?
I mean, to give up 2 own goals is pretty unlucky, I'd say. But, even beyond that, just like Chelsea just looks all over the place. Like they don't seem like one cohesive unit in attack or defense,
They looked like the F word, fine. Up until like 2 weeks ago, now they're looking bad.
Yeah,
they're not looking too hot. So,
yeah, no, I don't know what the World Cup will do to that team. It's
could
probably not going to be great.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to our least favorite team. Who, man, I thought they were going to lose. Oh, Bournemouth, they had it.
I didn't even like watch the game, but I just checked on my phone and Bournemouth was up 2-0, and I was like, come on, Bournemouth, let's go. And then I checked later and it's like 3-2 to Tottenham. I was like, oh no, they were like so close.
I watched most of that game, and by the 88th minute, it was kind of writing on the wall that Tottenham was going to score. It was just like so much pressure that Bournemouth eventually just fell. Did you see Conte after they scored?
Yeah.
He just left.
I mean, like, I don't know. I just watched the highlights from it, but even from there, it looked like Tottenham was like bad to fine all game. Like, the subs came in and definitely made an impact, but you're still fighting a 2-goal deficit against Bournemouth. Like,
Bournemouth came out hot. I was like, ooh, like, look at that. Tottenham was sitting on their heels.
Yeah, Tottenham should be performing better than that, right? Like, your squad is, at least on paper, better than Bournemouth. And I don't know, they just, like, first half, both goals that Bournemouth scored were, like, nice goals, but probably easily stoppable if you're, like, defending well and I don't know, just playing well.
It's hard to believe that Tottenham is third in the table right now.
Yeah, I don't know how long it continues. Like, every week I feel like they should just lose, and then like that starts the downfall, but then it's like they somehow
sneak by,
stick around. Like, I mean, credit to them for the comeback this week, but I don't know. You got to figure out something, because you don't want to be in that position against a team like Bournemouth. You should be controlling that game.
Yeah, they did have a far more touches than them, and I assume, we can't check the stats on when the touches came, but I assume a majority of them came near the end of the second half, just because Bournemouth barely touched the ball. And when they did touch it, they were pretty erratic with it.
For Bournemouth to give up, I think it was like 19 corners to Tottenham. Like,
there's a lot of shots on target that kind of just ricocheted out.
Yeah, like I get your clearing the ball to get rid of the danger, but like, you can't keep clearing it out for a corner kick. Like, one is bound to go in or cause an issue,
especially with Kane.
Yeah,
it's just, again, it was inevitable. But do you know who Tottenham plays next?
No, I do not. Oh, Liverpool might show up for that one.
Oh my gosh, we need to just do anything. I mean, would it surprise me if we beat them? No. Would it surprise me if they lost in the 90th minute to Tottenham? No. Like, there's so many ways this can go. I would love this win.
Yeah, I mean,
I wouldn't love it more than the City win, obviously, but this would be a very close second. It just sucks we don't show up for these non-Big Six teams, and despite Arsenal, but that's
yeah.
So I don't know. I look forward to hopefully a bounce back game because boy do we need it.
I would think so. I mean, there's been these like little glimmers of hope for Liverpool on their like bounce back, and then they kind of stumble again. So one of these times has to just finally click, and everything gets rolling again.
I can't even the history on who scored doesn't even go this far back, but we haven't lost to Tottenham in the Premier League since pre-2018.
Oh wow.
A couple draws, but let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4 wins. So our track record is fine. We beat them in Champions League 2. Can't forget about that one. Yeah. But this is a different year. So it makes me slightly nervous just because everyone knows Liverpool's not the same, and Tottenham might have that feeling too. A little revenge would be pretty sweet, but Oh, and then this other God, we're going back to Liverpool. I'm going to stop after this. I saw a rumor that Pochettino might like replace Klopp with Pochettino. I'm like, what? Like, what is that going to solve? Yeah, I know. It was a stupid rumor. It was like a who scored comment, but it got a bunch of likes, and I was like, oh, that's dangerous.
No, yeah. I mean, I think if you're Liverpool's board or whatever, like, you're probably disappointed with the way the season's going, but I don't think you're rushing to get rid of Klopp. Like, he's brought a lot of success over the years, and Liverpool didn't really like buy anyone in the summer. So it's a good squad, but a aging squad, and the manager, whoever it is, can only do so much with that. So I think you just kind of stick it out and hopefully get a couple reinforcements in January, but I wouldn't be rushing to get rid of a name like Klopp.
No way. You don't hit the panic button like this.
Yeah.
All right. Did you see Ben Mee's goal?
Ben Mee, he's on my list for goal of the week.
Yeah, me too.
He made the list.
Me too. That was pretty sweet. I was like, good for him. It's like, man, when the Bees got him in the back, I feel good for them.
He's just he's such like a good quality defender. You're always going to get like a decent to good to great performance from him, and he's a threat on the corner. Not normally in this kind of goal situation, but sweet. He's at least got the confidence to try and take that shot, and why not?
He had the space to do it, so I was like, yeah. Let's go. Not too much happened in this game, but boy, was I happy to see Costa get a red card.
I don't know what this guy's doing. Like, what, he's like 30
he's back
or something now? Like,
he is 34 years old, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, come on, like, it's Brentford versus Wolves. It's not like a big derby match or anything, it's
at the 95th minute.
Yeah, it's 1-1, just end the game and move on. Good news of this, though, is that he will be suspended when Arsenal play Wolves.
Oh,
so
okay.
I'll take that because Diego Costa is Diego Costa and seems to hate Arsenal and probably would have scored. So
he would have scored and then headbutted one of y'all at the end of the game. Like, see, yeah, I guess he hasn't played any big teams yet, so that should be fun when he does. He might have wanted a break because they have Brighton next and then Leeds, and then Chad, we got our schedules wrong. I think there's only one more Premier League game left.
No, it's definitely 2.
Is there 2?
At least Arsenal have Chelsea and Wolves left.
Oh, yeah. My bad. The schedule wasn't showing the next 3 matches. It was only showing the next 2.
Yeah.
Okay, good to know.
Yeah.
That was cool. I'm glad I saw him headbutt live, and I was like, oh, there he is.
I just, I don't know that Ben Mee is, the shit stir kind of guy. Like, he doesn't seem to come off that way.
No.
But I mean, maybe he just knows that Diego Costa is a little bit hot-headed like that and was maybe picking on him all game, and
he hit the button.
Yeah, finally got it, and again, in this age of VAR, like you're just full on stupid to try anything like that. Like,
so many cameras pointed at you in any sport. I'm like, what are you thinking?
yeah,
It's mind-boggling. So yeah, 1-1 there. Not a huge surprise in how that game ended. I guess let's just jump into kind of the next boringish game. It was the Everton Fulham game.
oh,
Tarkowski, the block king.
Block King.
How does he do that, man? He's always in the right spot to make sure you're not getting in.
He just reads the game well, I guess.
Yep.
Knows where to be, and I mean, what are his blocks at now? Let's see.
Is he in the 30s yet? It's got to be
Blocks.
close.
Yeah, he's at 31 blocks.
So crazy, dude.
So,
Who's next highest?
next highest,
Like 17 or
like
something? Martinez? Check Martinez.
Ben Mee's at 15. Yeah, Ben Mee's your next highest at 15.
Wow. Yeah, and a majority of those were on Mitrovic, too. Mitrovic had 10 shots that game.
Oof, 10 shots. Just so wasteful. Like,
Yep.
that's a rough day for Mitrovic. Like, he got in good positions. I mean, clearly had 10 shots, so like he's getting the ball, but
The chunk of the game that I watched, he didn't pick on the wing backs enough. Like they got Everton has like Coleman on the right hand side, and I thought it was going to look like the Liverpool game where he just kind of picked on Trent for most of that game and just got over their heads. He got fed a lot, but I mean Tarkowski was just all over it. Cody's playing a little bit further up the pitch, so now they have an interesting tandem where they're like Tarkowski is the kind of the last man there, but I mean he's doing a great job at it, so like it's working for Everton. If they want to make a move though, they got to have some help on the attack. Iwobi's playing really kind of like positionless, which is fun to watch, but it's just like it looks like he's trying to do too much because he is, I guess, on the ball. He's the best player they have. But man, to get him a little bit of help would be super interesting to see. Because I do think they're right there. I think they're on the cusp.
Yeah, and I mean Calvert-Lewin's got to get kind of back into game shape.
True, that's true.
Anthony Gordon, I don't know what happened. He was scoring for them, and now you never hear him anymore.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I don't know. Did you see Mitrovic step on someone's calf?
I did not see that.
Maybe a little lucky to not have gotten a red for this one.
Whoa, was it that bad? Was it purposeful?
It was. Well, I mean, he's going for the ball, but like, ball is gone by the time he like completes his step, and just kind of lands like ankle to calf.
Who'd he land on?
I think it's.
Was it Onana?
I don't think it's Onana. I think it was whoever their other midfielder was. Guay.
Okay. Did he get taken off for that reason? I saw he got subbed out, so I'm just curious.
No, Mitrovic got the yellow card for it at 24. And,
this is early. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I missed that.
But yeah, I mean it's definitely late, and there's I guess an attempt to play the ball, but ball has been kicked away by the time he gets his challenge in, and just I don't know, the height of it is a little bit on the red end of the spectrum, but
it's a Mitrovic move.
Yeah, I mean,
little punk.
A striker's tackle sort of thing. Like, I don't know. I mean, I guess early enough that ref wants the game to, finish 11-11. So
true. Not too much more. Pickford played great. Those guys, man, they get so many points when they get a clean sheet.
Whew, yeah,
it's crazy. All right, do you want to talk about Newcastle? Because I think they're my favorite team in the league right now. Easily. I think easily.
I don't know how many weeks it's been, but we got another weekly Almiron banger.
Dude. Goal of the week. Somerville is like kind of my number one because of the context, but I really don't want to say him. But that left foot was sweet.
He's got like that, like Aaron Robin left foot right now, where it's just like, he's cutting in on his left and shooting, but no one can stop him.
It's like, why not? Stop him. You know what he's going to do.
Yeah.
No.
I don't know. And like, it's not like this is a new signing or anything. Like, he came from Atlanta United, like MLS. Like, I don't think he should be this good or playing this well.
I think it's Castle's build up, man. With Trippier on that side that he's playing on, he's done wonders for that team.
Yeah. I mean, it's just I don't know. I mean, I think first half, I kind of felt like this game could have went either way.
Mm-hmm.
Like Villa seemed to be in it still and kind of on the back foot, but putting up a decent fight. But then second half, it all fell Newcastle's way, and from the penalty at the end of the first half, and then the 3 goals that follow, it's just.
If Emi Martinez stays in this game, do you think it ends differently?
Maybe. I don't know.
I don't think so. I think their pressure in the box was so ridiculous. It was overwhelming for any keeper that would have been behind the sticks. They played great. They're just so fast, and they don't even have Isaac yet. And St. Maximin isn't even playing that much because he's coming back from injury. I'm like, this team is just gonna be more potent.
That's what I don't understand. Like Callum Wilson, Joelinton, Willock, Almiron, like these are the guys that were on Newcastle when they were shit. And now all of a sudden they're like carrying the team.
Well, they got King Pope at the goal sticks now, and
I guess. Hey, I think this is the first clean sheet he's gotten since I picked him up from a fantasy team. So
I think
for
you're
that.
Right. And the bot man is insane.
Yeah.
Never heard about him until Theo subbed him, and I was like, "What the hell is this? Who is this guy?"
Yeah, I mean they're definitely performing well. I think they've only lost 1 game in the league, and
one to Liverpool.
Yeah, I think that was it. And I mean they got the draw out of the City game.
And Man U, they drew Man U. Those are the 2.
Yeah.
So yeah,
definitely a well-performing team, scary to play against. I think right now, and especially when the other guys get back, and
they got John Joe Shelby back now too. I'm telling you, they're crazy.
Out there,
they're crazy, dude. They're gonna be insane.
Yeah. So is this just a loss because it was Villa playing Newcastle, or was Steven Gerrard not the issue and Villa is just worse than we all thought they were going to be?
I think Newcastle is that good. I think now they're the top 3 teams in the league. They're better than Tottenham. I think they're miles better than Tottenham. I can't wait for Arsenal to play Newcastle.
Yeah,
I bet you can't.
I'm all good to like put it off a little bit longer.
Yeah, right. Let him get off this hot streak. I'm so happy we beat them when we did in the fashion we did, because I don't want to play them again for a couple more months. So
that's a big win.
Is it even wrong to say? Nah, that's a little wrong to say that they're the best team in the league right now. They're close. It's like one ABC.
Yeah,
it really is. I think that top 3 race is going to be pretty wild. They're just fun. Yeah. They're fun to watch.
I mean, they played pretty fast attacking football. Like almost kind of remind me of Liverpool of past seasons, where it's very quick from front to back, and
I think that's why I like watching them.
Yeah, people crash in the box and stuff. So yeah, I mean they're definitely one to keep an eye on, and I don't know when Arsenal play them, but I'm glad it's not for a while.
Yeah, probably not till December. Oh no, probably January, right?
At least. I mean, definitely not before the World Cup.
That's true. That's true. All right, let's want to bounce to Arsenal. Want to talk about how y'all just punished hatless Dean Henderson and let the league know, like, yo, Liverpool lost to them, but no, we're not going to do that.
I mean, I don't know why that guy does not always wear a hat. I don't know the full stats on hat versus no hat.
I'm still doing my research.
Yeah, but like from the moments I remember when he puts that hat on, he's just it's like he's 2 feet taller, can like jump 5 extra feet side to side.
I mean, we only have 2 games from recent memory where he's worn the hat and played out of his mind. But there's got to be a couple more in there. Maybe he didn't like win the game, but he probably still played incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna do some digging. I want to make this like our first blog post and just the stats on what he's done hat versus no hat. It's wild. But y'all punished Forrest, man. That was
it was one of those games where like Nottingham Forest just looked like they didn't want anything from the game. Like they had maybe 2 decent looking counters in the first half, but beyond that, like even after the first goal, they didn't really come out of their low block at the back. Like they're just gonna kind of see it through and try and I guess minimize the damage, but
well, they didn't really. It wasn't minimal at all. 2 shots on target for Forrest, and I look down the Arsenal list and I just see goals and assists everywhere. That was, man, they were really good. They looked really good today.
I mean, it was a nice game that came at a good time, I think, because probably since the Leeds game, Arsenal's been a little bit struggling, I guess, like a little bit out of form maybe. Leeds kind of just held on for the win. Southampton game kind of got away from Arsenal after they scored and went to PSV at the Europa League in the week and just like looked terrible and lost that one. And so I think this was like one of those games, just like perfect timing to like bounce back and kind of reset, especially leading into the Chelsea game next week. Like get some confidence up, get some some good vibes back in the squad. Like right away, I just noticed the passing looked a lot faster and a lot crisper in this game than it has in the past few weeks. So I think that was a good sign from the get-go. And I mean, Reece Nelson is
tell me about him. Who is this guy?
He's an academy player. Like he's 22 now.
Where's he been?
He's been one of those like academy players where it's like, the guy that like does well in the academy and they're like, that's the next Messi. Like this is going to be the guy.
That was him?
He he kind of comes out and he's just like doesn't do anything. Like, and that's kind of been his story so far. He has made appearances for Arsenal before, scored a handful of goals, I think. Probably more in like Carabao Cup games and stuff, but just never really like took off or established himself. He had a few loan spells, which like were kind of good. And then last season they, I think, tried to send him on loan, but he wanted to stay and fight for his place, and then he just like didn't play because you're fighting Bukayo Saka and you're just like, you're not better than him. So it I guess fortunate for him that Saka went out early with a potential injury. But I mean, hey, to step in and score 2 goals and get an assist.
Nice goals too. Like he looked good. He looked like he fit right in.
So I mean, it'll be nice if he can kind of carry on from here, because Arsenal in the summer were looking for a backup winger for Saka, and obviously didn't find anyone. But if you have that in-house solution, it saves you a bunch of money you didn't have to spend. So I hope he can kind of continue on here. But I mean, it was kind of a surprise to see him come in. He's played, I don't know, maybe 2-3 times this season, and I think mainly in Europa League, and has looked fine, but hasn't had any performances like this.
No, I looked up Saka's injury. It just says knock. Do you know anything other than that?
I haven't heard anything else yet. I think Arteta said, it's just like he got a bad kick pretty early in the game, like kind of like right away, actually.
When you say bad kick, did he kick the ball and that made him feel awkward, or he got kicked?
So the go-to foul on Saka this season especially is he'll be like receiving the ball and defender will come up behind him and just like kick his legs out from the behind. And he's kind of having that Eden Hazard issue where a lot of the play goes through him, and he's getting fouled a lot. But because they're trying to let the game be a little more physical and flow more, like it's not being called. So he doesn't have the protection really that he probably should have. Like some of these fouls are definitely fouls, and I think often definitely at least a yellow card, but they just aren't being called because they want the game to flow more. And
Sure.
Now you're kind of seeing the effects of that. I don't think it's anything bad that'll keep him out of the next couple games or the World Cup, but like if you're England, like, and the FA, like, here's one of your potential starters in the World Cup that like could potentially be out of the World Cup if this ends up being a bad injury.
That'd be bad for England.
I appreciate the more like physical game, and not every single thing needs to be called, but like when these guys are just blowing through the back of players, like you got to call the foul, and you got to clamp down on that early and hand out some yellow cards. Like those are just like pointless fouls that are already slowing down the game because attack has ended or whatever. But like you got to give these players some protection.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, overall, great day for Arsenal.
Not
You'll have a
there.
5-0 win. So
yeah, I'm jealous. Wish I could have one of those.
Yeah, do it against Tottenham. That'd be great.
That'd be sweet. Oh man, I would love that. Were there any bad moments of that game? We're just like, I guess there was one pass in the box.
Yeah.
Who was that? Gabby that made that pass in the box? Oh, Saliba. I think it was Saliba that passed it in. Ben White just had to like.
I think so. Yeah.
Go all out to make sure nothing was going to happen.
Yeah, there was that pass, and then Thomas Partey made like I think he like was trying to do a back pass, but then just kind of like whiffed it, and it like wasn't strong enough, and kind of caused a little bit of an issue. So it's still Arsenal. They still have that little defensive blunder in them.
It's the youth showing. Y'all are still one of the youngest clubs in Premier League, right? On average.
Yeah, I think typically we're the youngest. I think maybe it might be Brentford comes out a little bit younger than us every now and then.
I imagine Leeds is probably in there too.
Leeds is probably up there too, yeah. So I mean, yeah, like again, I know we're getting to the time where it's like you almost have to admit you're in the title race, but like I'm still just going game by game.
Hey man, that's the way to do it right now.
Yeah, like from the start of the season, I was just my thinking was like get as many points as you can before the World Cup and see what happens after that. Like, and so far, your Arsenal's doing that. Only lost one and I think drew one.
Yep.
So
that's pretty good.
It's a good base to build on for the rest of the season. So
absolutely.
I'm looking forward to Chelsea next week and see if they can continue this good run of form.
I mean, I wish I was top of the table right now, but we've had our moment. It's time for someone else to not let City win, and I will happily let it be you.
Hey, I'll take it.
And then last game of the weekend was Man U West Ham. Kind of a snooze fest. West Ham looked bad. Man U didn't look that great, but Harry Maguire came on the pitch. That's a sighting we haven't seen in a while.
Harry Maguire is it kind of showed up a little bit, especially towards the end of the game. Like he had some pretty big blocks that kept kept the lead, and but also shout out David De Gea for some big saves at the end.
Man, those saves were crazy. That save he had with Rice's shot was nuts.
Yeah,
that was nuts. I was watching that kind of a little while ago before we started this thing up, and just he went all out. I went, oh, and Kristen was like, what? I was like, watch this. She's like, holy. It's like, yeah, that save was incredible.
Yeah, I mean it looked like pretty even all match. Like I think even stats wise, it's like pretty evenly split. Which is not to say it was like a good match. It was just like they both looked like anyone could have won it. And Rashford's header was pretty nice, and there you go. You got the one goal, but
good old Eriksen assist.
Yeah,
He saw him in that corner making that run, but he got up for that header. He got up. So that was pretty sweet. But yeah, West Ham didn't play good. Their attack still is pretty meh.
Yeah.
Ronaldo started, which is kind of crazy to see. He didn't play terrible. He didn't play terrible. I mean, he didn't play good either. But a win's a win. They're still on the top of the table, which is just crazy to see because they're not doing anything special. So yeah, and then I forgot to say we didn't mention the other Manchester team because honestly, boring weekend from them. Only 1-0 against Leicester.
No Holland.
Yeah, snooze fest, man.
I mean, yeah. When I watched that, it was like this just looks like a City team of last year when they didn't have a striker. Like it's still City is still pretty dominant, but now compared to City with Holland, it's like that's a fun watch.
Yeah, I don't think I'll watch a City game if he's not playing. Honestly, it was they controlled that whole game. You knew from the start of the game they were going to win. To only do it with one goal, I guess, was kind of surprising. But at the same time, it wasn't because they didn't really. It looked like they just didn't want to score.
Yeah, I mean, I'll give Leicester some credit. Like they definitely had some character and he put up a good fight. I think pretty much the whole game. I mean, they were defending majority of the game, yeah. But to only let in one with City, pretty good showing. Yeah, and I mean, Tielemans almost had that screamer from the top of the box, but Henderson just like barely taps it up to the bar. So it's that close from being a different game.
That would have been crazy. Yeah, if he did score that and they're drawing against Leicester, that would be a pretty crazy sight to see. Who knows what it had? Like, I'm sure they would have put in their subs, made some stuff happen. Only 1-0. I was like, okay, that's surprising to see.
But I mean, I will say Kevin De Bruyne's free kick was like
beautiful,
perfect free kick. So if you're gonna lose to one goal, like it better be a good goal like that.
He's now 2 goals in the last 2 games, 3 goals on the season.
That's it. All you Holland picks, you're struggling now.
We're gonna be all right. Plenty of season left. The man only has 17 goals in the first. Where are we at? 11 games? Is that where we're at right now?
I think 12 or 13, depending on.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Some delays, but still.
It's insane. Absolutely insane.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that about does it for all the games. You wanted to go over our offensive, defensive players of the week and officially say who your goal of the week is?
Yeah.
Offensive.
I have both Colin Wilson for 2 goals and 1 assist, and also Reece Nelson for 2 goals and 1 assist. Between the two, I think I would lean to Colin Wilson only because he's been a little bit more established, and Reece Nelson is like this could just be like the one-off game.
Yeah.
So I'd probably lean Colin Wilson on that one.
Well, Chad, our minds are thinking alike because I said the same. It's hard not to pick him. He's kind of been on fire these last couple of games. He plays so slow. I was watching him run. I was like, man, like it looks like he's using all of his energy to run up and down the pitch. But like he's just built. I think he's a little thicker than everyone else, so it makes his running looks a little different. But yeah, no, I'm happy with that. It's I don't think we've given it to a Newcastle attacker yet. Pope got it earlier, so yeah, good to see him get it. I'm good with that.
Do you think he's played himself into the England squad for the World Cup?
Gareth Southgate was at the game watching.
Yeah,
I don't know. I mean, we've kind of talked about like strikers you want to bring, or at least number 9s, and it's Kane.
Mm-hmm.
It's what's his face? We just talked about him.
Ivan
Toney. Danny Ings has had a couple good games too. You could maybe give him a shout.
I just think like purely based off the Newcastle confidence right now, like
for sure the momentum is there, and the confidence definitely there. It would not surprise me if he got the nod at all. Mm-hmm. I mean, I think he deserves it. Yeah, absolutely. So, especially, I mean, Kane's going to get the start anyway. Yeah, I can't imagine him playing a whole lot. But if you were American, I'd be like, you're starting. So,
Yeah.
like, so you know, it's the depth for England. Oh, what a bummer! They have so many strikers they got to choose from. Yeah, I'm jealous. I'm like getting more and more nervous for our World Cup as it gets closer and closer. Just because I watched Pulisic miss a goal today.
Yeah.
And just like, oh man, like I don't know
Just
what to
gotta
expect.
Hope Brendan Aronson just pops off like
McKinney.
we've seen him do every once in a while. Yeah.
My hope's on McKinney, man. I was like, he's in a tough league.
I think as long as some other players step up, I think it'll help Pulisic because he's kind of been like the guy for the United States for a little bit now.
Yeah.
So get some pressure off of him. You know, maybe he's not as closely defended, and kind of let him like play that winger role that he's excelled at in the past.
I'm excited.
Fingers crossed.
I am excited. Are you gonna do any plans for that first game?
I don't know. I was trying to think. I don't know. I'll probably try and get something together, or at least like make myself a nice breakfast for it.
Nice. Good
American breakfast.
Well, I think we're going to go to Kansas City, and we're going to go to the AO bar out there and watch it there. So that should be pretty fun.
Okay. Yeah.
Looking forward to that. I think the first game for the United States team is the 21st. Yeah, we'll play Wales on the 21st. So we'll be out there for that. And they play England 2 days after that, I believe. The 23rd. And that's a Wednesday, correct? Let me check calendar.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, 23rd is a Wednesday. That'll be our travel day. So I'm going to try to see if we can maybe postpone travels. Kansas City's only 2 hours away. It's not that far.
Oh, okay.
But depending on game time, I think most games are starting around 10-ish. Yeah. So maybe we'll do a little brunch in a game, then head home. So yeah, we're excited about that. I am skipping a little too far here. Who's your defensive player of the week?
Well, I feel like I have to finally tip my cap to James Tarkowski. Just like this maybe wasn't his best game, but like he's been so consistent with the clearances and blocks, and like this game he had 4 clearances and 5 blocks. Like he's just been a rock at the back. So he definitely gets a shout. I think I would lean more towards Meslier, just the 13 saves.
Have we given it to him?
I feel like we have, but like he just put up such a performance.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. And Pickford, for me, gets a shout as well. Clean sheet, 9 saves total. I think maybe 10. So yeah, tough choice this week. There were a lot of good defensive players.
Yeah.
I think Meslier already got it though. I'm double checking our emojis right now. If he didn't, that is my pick because he broke my heart. I don't see him in here. He might not have gotten it.
Oh no, yeah, I don't think he has.
It's hard not to. If you agree,
yeah,
I think he should get it.
Him. Yeah.
Goalkeepers came out to play this weekend.
Yeah.
And I guess one more goalkeeper that we missed, Fabianski, out with an injury. I don't know if you saw that.
I didn't see what happened, but I noticed he didn't finish the game. Did he even start the game?
He started. Yeah, concussion. He collision. He was okay for a little bit, and then a cross came in. He caught it. He went down, and then he never really got back up.
Oh,
so yeah, it didn't look bad. It just looked kind of unusual. So don't know where that goes from here. And then your official goal of the week.
Oh. So I got the Kevin De Bruyne free kick, Ben Mee's little scissor kick thing, and then Almiron's curler.
I'm okay with all 3 of those because it's not Somerville. I would go context over anything.
Yeah.
For me it's me because they were down 1-0 And that goal before Mees was about a minute or two prior.
Yeah, it was pretty quick.
Quick banger, right back in the game. Yeah, Kevin's was a game winner. It was Leicester.
I'm good with Ben Mee. Like, you love to see a defender like not just head the ball in and get a little acrobatic like that. So
it's hard to do that when you're 6'3".
Yeah. So yeah, Ben Mee's little side scissor kick thing, goal of the week.
Yep, I'm with you there. Anything else you want to bring up? Any footy news? Any life news? Anything crazy?
I guess just to pick up on the Sac Republic news from last week, they went away to Colorado, got the first goal, let in a second goal kind of cheaply, saved a PK, and then the keeper just missed the ball for a second goal. So they lost 2-1. Season's done.
But what a season, though. Like,
yeah, I mean, I just feel so conflicted with the team. Like, the Open Cup run was great.
Mm-hmm.
I never expected to make the final, let alone win the final. And for 70 minutes of that final, I thought they performed really well.
God, I thought we were going to win that game. I'm still still living in the past.
Loving that, but like, I don't think Mark Briggs is like the coach for the team. Like, tactically, he just kind of sets up the team that doesn't utilize the players we have. I think like it's a lot of like wing back play and cross it in, but we don't really play with a tall striker up top. And I'd like to see us play through the middle more, because like we do have pretty good like guys with good ball control and passing. But we just don't. And then there's just been a handful of games where they just like threw away points, and so he'll get another year because of the Open Cup run, which I get, but like at the same time is like I'm ready to move on and see what someone else can bring in. But you know, overall good season.
Is this a successful season?
I'd call it a successful season, but definitely like there was room to be better, and they just dropped the ball a little bit.
I mean, a championship, a cup anywhere they were so close. They were so close. I mean, it's a budget issue. I still stand by that.
I mean, you still knocked out San Jose, LA Galaxy, and Kansas City on the way to the final. So if they're playing their strongest team, I don't know, but like you're still losing to a team in a league below you. So it's a good look for Sacramento, and you know, hopefully, I don't know that MLS dream is ever going to happen, but like these are the kind of seasons Sacramento needs to like gain the attention of potential investors. So
for sure,
if this can be the norm of, you know, a decent Open Cup run, and you know, at least get through a round or two of the playoffs, if not further, then that'll have to be successful for now, and just keep aiming higher and hopefully get the players and staff and coaching needed to get there. But
well, with the Sacramento boom, anything is kind of possible with a professional sports team coming in. And with traveling to Orlando and playing an MLS team in the finals, like people are gonna look at you on the map and be like, where the hell is Sacramento? And like, oh, okay, it's way over there. So at least you're getting a little looked at. So yeah, bummer. I saw the score line. I said, oh, that sucks. But I think that season is a success, even though it didn't end in a cup or a title. You know, you can always say there's always next year, but like they haven't peaked from a way outside. You know, I don't get to see a lot of games, but like I don't think I think this momentum will carry. Because they got to experience so much that not a lot of other teams in their division even get to like closely see. So I'll be curious to see what players they keep, what players they let go, and who they bring on, and you know, hopefully make the club stronger in the end. Oh, I can't wait to go back to Sacramento to watch a game. Those are so fun.
They are a good time. You know, now I think preseason starts like normally March or something like that. So
okay,
see what they do in the off season, and you know, March will be here before we know it. So
yeah, I know. Counting down the months already. All right, Chad, got anything else for us? Or that'll wrap it up.
I think that's about it.
All right, we're an hour and 7 minutes in. I think with that note, the Hooligans are out. Goodbye.